get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Let's have a bit of fun.
What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday here. We are back for another night of high school action. It is time for the CMS League. We had Valorant last night. Today we have Super Smash Bros. Specifically for Ultimate. My name is Proper. Joined with me is Tumbleweed. And, well, how was your day so far?
It's been good. Another day, another dollar. Got off work, came here and said, what could I do on a Thursday night? Nothing else but cast some Super Smash Bros. With my boy Proper, Andy. It's going to be a good series of matches here.
Yeah, it sure will. Yeah, again, Super Smash Bros. is a game that is very close to my heart. Even growing up, I'm old as heck, so like I've been playing Smash all the way back since the Nintendo 64. So a lot of these characters that we will see on our screen are from that title, dating all the way back to Super Smash, all the way through Melee, Ultimate. So many different characters at your disposal. So without further ado, let's get in towards our first matchup here. We will end up having the Olympic High School Trojans going up against a high school we saw last night, but this time for Smash, the Audrey Kell Knights.
And Little Mac on the stage. I mean, this is one of my favorite games growing up, this kid Punch-Out. So this is going to be an interesting thing. When I used to play Smash, Little Mac was about as low tier as you could get. He was pretty much the worst character, wide regarded. Andy, are you familiar? Has he gotten better?
No, he's still actually incredibly low tier. And the reason being is because Lil Mac has almost little to non-existent recovery. So you're going to see the Lucina for Audrey Kell just continuously sending Little Mac off the stage, but the KO punch is ready. That's pretty much a one-hit knockout, pun intended.
Yep, and one thing I guess we should talk through, Andy, just for all the viewers at home. What are they watching? Well, the way that this is set up is we're currently in a match. These players are facing off in a best-of-3 to get 1 point for their specific high school. And they will trade off with other players on their team to progress and ultimately try to win and get 3 points first. See here, each character has 3 lives on the stage. They're referred to as stocks. So 1 stock down on the side of Audrey Kell. Little Mac really coming off with a strong start, but he is at a high life percentage. And it's just a quick little reset. Now we're back 11% to 0.
Lil Mac taking the first stock, though, is pretty massive. Only was able to get 11% extra damage there off of the Rage. Rage is a certain internal mechanic that works in Super Smash Bros. Basically, you get more damage to the percentage. The higher percentage, the more likelihood that you will probably lose your stock. But you also get further knockback as well, which is very good for Lil Mac to be able to set up those pretty dynamic punches. Going to be setting Lucina off the stage. A little bit of a counter over towards the edge. Important to remember here for Town and City, this stage in particular where the characters are fighting at, it's actually probably one of the biggest blast zones, mostly on the sides of the screens, but very, very low when it comes down to the top side of the blast zone. So 181%. Lucina was able to at least flip the lead momentarily, but again, this is one-hit knockout territory for Little Mac to be able to take the second stock.
Yeah, and I assume they're going to be looking for their big kind of power moves. What's the terminology that we should be looking for, Andy? What are the big hit moments? What are they called?
Oh, smash attacks.
Smash attacks. So you have your smash.
Or a jab will work too. Sure.
Yeah. Or you hit him with a nice little jab. Floyd Mayweather, also known as Little Mac. 100% to 20. If you are Olympic, you're feeling really good with how this game is going, considering that your first player up, low tier character. He's got a 1 life lead, nice little 37% cushion, so Little Mac could easily prep and knock someone out. Now up to 60, basically, and he's got the KO punch. Can he deliver the knockout blow?
You see, this is where it's actually getting pretty dire, right? 146%. Lil Mac is considered to be a medium heavyweight. Very hard to be able to get this character off the stage, but if you do, Lil Mac almost has little to no recovery. So now Warren trying to get the knockout, but the tilt will get the job done with all the rage meter induced. It's a 2-stock to come through for Ligma Boy, who is representing there for Olympic High School, able to take that first game.
Yeah, very impressive performance there with Little Mac. I mean, basically living the Punch-Out series live and doing it straight to perfection, so not much more to say than that. That was just an excellent knockout. Now, as I understand it, their first player's gone. He used Little Mac. So now these teams are going to swap to 2 second players. So Ligma coming in strong for Olympic. Their second player is going to come on stage. I'm wondering what type of character you want to see, but if you're going to pick one of the lowest tier characters on the list, you obviously have to be feeling good. and very confident into this matchup against Audrey Kell. So while yesterday Audrey Kell was this dominant figure, right, everyone's talking about and hyping up, maybe they don't have the same presence in Smash Brothers.
I will say this much, like as far as like just like Smash Bros in general, I'll get to your point there momentarily, is that for like these lower tier characters, right, like you could even come out and like pick a King K rule, which is like highly regarded as just a cheesy character. Like it's very difficult to be able to get away with some King K rule nonsense up at the highest level of Smash Bros. But here, as far as the high school league is concerned, that's where you're going to start seeing some niche fighters coming out to play, like that little Mac that we got. King K rule could also be that character as well. The way that the tier list is kind of thrown out the window when it comes down to these high school leagues, almost like for those sitting at home, Super Smash Bros. Notoriously has a lot of local events that happen, weekly, bi-weekly as well, where you're going to be seeing some characters that you wouldn't expect for like the pros to find a lot of value with, we'll be finding value with as well. But I mean, look, you saw Korn come through, pretty good spacing coming out. Sorties are going to be your best bet to be dealing with Lil Mac as a brawler, so that way you can keep your space, so that way you don't just get absolutely belittled. But where those two players are coming on in, the next two are going to be stepping up for Audrey Kell. Going to be staying with Korn again?
Korn?
Same players.
Same players. Okay, so maybe I misunderstood the rule set a little bit. Sorry about that. So these players are competing in their best of 3. So they're going to face off 2 more times. So they just decided to run it back. Obviously decided Korn was, not the problem here. Just a little bit of an execution problem. So Ligma Boy, he said, you know what? I beat you with Little Mac. That's my main. I'm going to run it back. And that's really the secret sauce with these fighting games, right? Like you were talking about, Andy. You have your characters. Tier list is kind of irrelevant. You'll learn, you'll master specific matchups, and you'll know how to take on certain situations. So like here, Little Mac being a kind of a close range of melee fighter, he's probably pretty well versed in different sword characters and how to react to different ranges.
First stock taken early there for Ligma Boy. Just controlling center of the stage.
I see.
But getting back towards the stage is the biggest problem for Little Mac, but is able to do so while also able to accrue 41% onto the Korn. Well, now things are starting to look a little dire for the Kell Knights member. Trying to at least take this first stock, but is struggling just to find their way in. No pun intended, but this Ligma Boy on the Little Mac is just boxing out this Korn player.
Yeah, really solid performance, and you keep saying that Little Mac has recovery issues, but it doesn't feel that way for Ligma Boy. But L just not quite able to knock him far enough off the map to prevent that recovery. Good save there by L. Sitting at 78%, so you're not feeling too great in this situation. Oh, and a failed recovery, so up 3-1 in your stock count for Ligma Boy.
I don't know the origin of why it's called what it is, but what just happened there, the self-destruct, we call that a pineapple in Super Smash Bros. You just like bonk your forehead on the bottom of the stage. But running back here on Town City, trying to at least maybe mitigate the damage, but trying to take 3 stocks off of Little Mac when you're already up to 86%. No easy feat whatsoever. KO Punch already charged up. Gonna eat himself off the stage, but quickly back to the recovery, just fishing out for some back airs. Finally gonna be able to take that first stock.
Yep. And not a big deal if you're Ligma Boy. Now you take a moment, rest your hands. You just really popped off for 2 stocks. You got a nice lead. It's looking very daunting for L. It would be a tough comeback, but that's the beauty of Super Smash Brothers. If you start getting a lot of those, high frame, those perfect dodges, those blocks, you can mitigate a lot of damage. You can really come back here. But Ligma Boy not letting off that pressure. Oh.
Gonna charge up the punch. Just fishing out for these tilts, trying to get some shield pokes. Lil Mac also has a really good counter, and Ellis also getting caught with just tapping a lot of different buttons. Gonna jump up to the platform with a little bit of a fair. Gonna charge up the forward smash, but not gonna be enough for the taking of the stock. KO Punch charged up, 145% coming through for Audrey Kell Knights and their Korn player. Gonna get the knockout again, but not gonna be able to get all the way to the blast zone. Ligma Boy back on the stage.
Yep. And everyone's, ooh, that's gotta be a knockout punch. So for those unfamiliar, Andy, is the knockout punch pretty much a guaranteed knockout of the stage?
Depending on where you are in conjunction to the stage, comparatively to, say, the percentage that the enemy player is currently resting at, yeah, most of the time, yes. So the first set is going to be taken by the Little Mac player. Again, the way that it's going to be pretty confusing, so just trust our guiding voices. Basically what's happening is we're playing best of threes within a best of five. So every single time that you see 2 characters per high school coming onto the screen, they're going to be playing their own best of threes, and then that is going to be inside of a best of 5. So basically what's going to happen is that you have a multitude of different high school students representing their high schools. If it goes to a 4th series, a 4th best of 3, then you can end up picking one of the first 3 that did play the opening first 3 sets. If you just win the first 3, say that Olympic high school then win the next 2 best of 3s, they win the best of 5. If it goes to 5, then you can end up picking any one of those other players that played the first 3, but it cannot be the one that you pick for the 4th. I know it was confusing. Trust me, it makes sense. So just go back, clip it if you have to, kind of rebuffer the video, scrub back, and listen to me say it again. That's how this is all going to work.
Yep. Or stick along for the ride. We'll walk you through it. Easy peasy. We are not going to misguide you. Prepping right now to get ready for game 2. What type of characters we expect? I wouldn't have picked Little Mac. You know, I'm just thinking through the players list. I'm thinking maybe like an Inkling. Piranha Plant, I think, is in the game. And I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy VII, so I'd love to see Sephiroth get represented in the game.
Yeah, you would want to see Sephiroth. I made Mario, so like every single time that I feel like that I have to go up against a Sephiroth or like any sortie, I'm just know that I'm not gonna have a good time. But like, hey, it's all apples to oranges at this point. Like, you just got to be playing your main at this point. Whatever character you feel most comfortable with, which could be Kirby. Kirby's not considered to be a high tier character, but neither is Little Mac, but was able to get the job done nonetheless there for Olympic High School. So the Trojans are gonna take this 1-0 lead. We'll have to see with the next set of characters, and hey, how about a Ridley on the screen as well? Everybody wanted Ridley finally in a Smash game. Comes from the Samus universe, the Metroid games, if you will, going up against a Palutena. And this is going to be a really interesting one because Ridley has a hard time working their way in, has a very massive amount of hurt boxes, but Palutena has that staff, some shield to be able to throw those projectiles back at Ridley's face.
Yep, it's not often that I'm stuck in a situation, Andy, where I have absolutely no idea what's going on, but I've never played a game of Ridley, nor have I ever seen a game of Ridley. So Punisher is about to give me my first live experience of Ridley. But just looking at the character at a high level, I mean, you recently saw Mario break into Hollywood. Ridley looks like a character that could be a good villain for a Samus game.
You know what's actually really funny? Is that Ridley to the game Metrovania is about 10 times the size as being represented inside Super Smash Bros. Now, obviously, that would be boss-level size, but you can't really have that. So
Master Hand levels.
Yes, yeah, exactly. No, it's bigger than Master Hand. Like, you don't understand. Like, Ridley is thick, like 25 Cs. Like, he's massive.
That's a lot. We only had 5 Cs yesterday, folks. We're up to 25. Will we end up at 50 Cs by the end of the weekend?
Probably. Well, depending on what character is on the screen, I suppose. Palutena struggling to be able to at least work their way back in, though. Deal not going to be able to get that first stock. It's going to be a dash attack that gets the job done for the first Punisher. So up to 116%. Palutena has a lot of kill moves, let alone abilities to be able to get that Ridley off the stage.
Yeah, and this matchup seems very even for a while. Punisher on that Ridley, the percentages stayed very even, but now getting good pull ahead. Nice little spam. I can relate to that. Little low spam punching right there. Just to whittle down that barrier, break the defenses down a little bit, and a good edge block there to force Palutena off the edge, off the stage, off the edge. I sound silly.
It just feels like Deal is having a hard time finding their way in. And Punisher's doing a really good job of just exploiting a lot of Ridley's kit. Just a lot of projectiles, a lot of dash attacks. Tries to go for Brook. I mean, you're all the way up to almost to about 130%. Tries to go for the swan dive off the top, but not going to be able to get it. Having to recover. Goes for just a crawl back up on the stage. Not going to be able to get some of these neutral airs, start getting some percentage. Again, it's not high percentage, but it's going to force Punisher to start touching a lot of buttons. Now you're going to somehow work your way back down. The up air will miss wildly. So here comes Punisher again, trying to rack up the damage.
Yeah, that was a beautiful reflect there after some series of juggling. Definitely getting in the comfort zone a little bit, slowly inching the way to a comeback, right? We've closed that gap at any moment. Could probably knock Ridley off the stage. You mentioned that these characters have weights, Andy. Ridley looks like he'd be kind of like a heavy. or the upper echelon of medium.
Yeah, he's like a medium heavyweight, where like Palutena is like much more of like a medium. And again, judging by like the higher weight of a character, it's harder to be able to get them into the blast zones. Though right there, the transcending fire will be able to get a certain amount of distance. And hey, that might just be the case. Kind of box out this Ridley player and try to rack up the damage and go for the elimination best way possible. It's going to work out even stocks, but not even 4%. Be able to get at least a forward throw for Punisher, and then get some ledge tech cheese. You stuck up top. How about a nice little up tilt coming through from the Ridley? You felt like that it was Punisher's game to lose at that point, being able to take those first stocks early.
Yep, match one taken in really convincing fashion at the end of it by Ridley for his team. But at the end of the day, this looks a lot closer than our first matchup that we saw. So I fully expect that match 2 or stage 2 could really go to either player here, and perhaps we go all the way to that third game.
It's very possible. It's very possible. Again, it just felt like that going in towards that third and final stock, albeit like a big discrepancy as far as like percentages are concerned. Like Teal finally started to understand, hey, I have a lot of projectiles myself. Not to mention the reflect that you pointed out was so beautifully placed by Deal to be able to at least quite literally do what the move is called. You reflect the fireballs right back into Ridley's mouth. So like that's kind of what you want to be looking for when it comes down to this matchup. Again, Palutena, since the beginning of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, was considered like a very high tier character. Some nerfs obviously came through. Not as potent as they once were. There was at one point where like even like the best players in the world like were playing, like MK Leo was playing a lot of Palutena at the beginning of this game's tenure, but it's still a very deadly character. It's just, again, when you get down to these matchups, there's somewhere near about like almost 100+ matchups that you got to be worried about. Ridley's another one of those niche characters. So is the download commencing? Is it somewhat complete? We'll have to see if Deal can start getting the job done versus Punisher here on this Ridley.
Yep, absolutely. And the big thing to your point, Andy, from that last game, the story, Palutena started getting comfortable. Started understanding the matchup a little more. Probably, I don't know how popular Ridley is, folks. I'm not going to lie to you, but for me, I played a lot. I don't see a lot of Ridley. I never played a game against him or played with him. So just a matchup you've got to learn based on how Punisher's playing. But Punisher, off to a very good start. No damage taken. He's got D all the way up to 80%.
Fishing out for the side air. Trying to at least get that grab, but not going to happen. Finally, some percentage being accrued here. Nice little combination off of the Nair for D. Couple that along with a couple good forward airs, and we're already up to 63% to the 90. Nice little forward air attempt, going to be able to get back to center stage, and the dash attack is just going to send D all the way off the stage, but I almost feel like that is some pretty bad DI when it came down to it. That was a very early stock taken.
Yeah, very similar story to the first game already. Punisher off to a great start. It kind of gets evened out by D. Punisher just able to capitalize on that first stock, and now D really feeling the pressure from Punisher. All the way up to 80%. Punisher, he's living up to his name. He's punishing the situation. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes up 3 stocks to 1 here soon. Trying to cheat that ledge grab there. If I remember correctly, 2 people can't grab the edge at the same time. And look, just like that, 3 stocks up to 1 for Punisher. Looking very strong in this second match.
Sure is. Looking pretty good to be able to take this series. It would put the Olympic High School Trojans up 2-0 as far as this best of 5 is concerned. Explosive Flame going to be thrown out, a couple projectiles, but Punisher, he's just vibing at this point. He's probably looking for another one of those tech grabs. That's Ridley's side special. When you see them take that down in the air, Explosive Flame is going to send Punisher straight into the air, falling down side by side. Back air is going to create some space. Trying to go for the spike, misses just a bit wide. So I guess when you're up 2 stocks, you might as well try anything flashy.
Yeah, absolutely. Just trying to maybe get that flashy finish off to N3-1, just to build his confidence up more.
Ooh.
And wow, nice little edge cheat there to cheat him off. And like we said before, Olympic takes this series up 2-0. Their next matchup will have 2 new players facing off, potentially 2 new characters. If Olympic wins that, they take this whole series, folks.
Yep. So Olympic being up 2-0, so very, very questionable to be able to see where this might end up going. You just have to really start considering a lot of different odds for Audrey Kell Knights. Maybe that third player is just going to be the ringer. Not too sure. Regardless, actually, what we're getting word, what was it, that there was actually a forfeit that Audrey Kell do not want to play the third and final set. So I believe the way that that's all jurisdicted, that will then be the Olympic Trojans being able to take that first series off of some very niche picks in between the Little Mac and the Ridley.
Yep, absolutely. So it's kind of a shame because we did have some good matchups there, but Olympic looking so strong, Audrey Kell probably saying, hey, you know what, our third player, maybe they're feeling under the weather, maybe just didn't have the confidence. Let's just go ahead and go back, reset our mental, right? Let's not take another loss. We'll come back again next week to showcase hopefully a better performance. And sorry, just getting word in my ear that there will be more matchups. It is only set 3 that was a forfeit. And we are going to go to a quick break before we come back to that. Give the players a chance to get settled in. Probably some confusion with the forfeit there. So, Andy, take us away.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting format, I will say that much, being in Smash Bros. For as long as I have been. But, yeah, so off of that forfeit for set 3, we'll get things all settled away on our end. Very short break in between these sets, but we'll be back with some more Audrey Kell Knights up against the Olympic High School Trojans. It's day number 2 here for the CMS for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. We'll be right back.
Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to CMS. We got ourselves some high school action to go through here. It is day number 2. Yesterday we had Valorant. Today we are going through Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. My name's Robert. Joining with me is Tumbleweed. And what we got going on for ourselves here is a little bit of house cleaning. Just real quick, just going to call it what it is, like we were talking about before we threw it to a break, is that Audrey Kell Knights, they forfeited set number 3. Now, that's still correct. What the problem was that we had in that second set was that the UI seemingly was backwards, because if this is a best of 5 amongst all the different sets, that would mean from the forfeit that the Olympic High School Trojans would then take the series. Not going to be the case at all. We are going to be loading into set number 4, which then opens up the floodgates for the Olympic High School to then pull in another player that played through the first 2, if not what was technically supposed to be the third. So it's 2-1 right now. Olympic High School sitting up on series point.
Yep, absolutely. And, we're doing our best to navigate through these issues, folks, so thank you so much for bearing with us. Well, all that matters, though, at the end of the day, Andy, we're having fun, we're casting good Smash games, and we're going to keep moving forward. And I'm excited to see who they're going to pick out. So, obviously, if you are Olympic, right, maybe your third player, he didn't get to play, but now you have a free opportunity. We saw someone like Ligma pop off so much in Game 1. Do you pull in Ligma again, or do you pull in your Ridley player?
I just don't see why you wouldn't make it like a whole, like, kind of like a caterpillar effect, where it's just like you just go back to the beginning of the line. And that seems seemingly going to be the case right here as we load into what is going to be set number 4. Ligma Boy is back in for Olympic High School. We got ourselves a little bit of a WWE square-up going up against Incineroar, a wrestler fire-based Pokemon, going up against Ligma Boy, who's playing on Little Mac as a boxer.
Absolutely, and what perfect Pokemon to put in this game. There's so many that you could choose from. Incineroar just fits all the profiles of a perfect Smash character. But you know what they're missing?
Yeah.
Why don't they have Machop, Machoke, Machamp? These are also other great additions to take on Incineroar in this game.
Oh, man. Dark Lariat off the ropes. A little bit of clothesline from Kell. Just going to send Ligma Boy flying again. As far as recovery is concerned, both these characters don't have the best recovery. Incineroar definitely has that box checked over a Little Mac, but that KO punch is getting a lot of respect out of Jacob for the Incineroar of Audrey Kell, and there's the knockout punch. Boom! To the skybox.
And Ligma Boy obviously still feeling good from his Game 1. Hasn't dropped a beat yet. He's saying, hey, in the age-old question, is boxing or wrestling better? He's giving it up for boxing right now. We see it all the time right now in the sports combat world, UFC versus boxing. Typically boxing wins. But Jacob, off the ropes, throws him off the stage, reset. It's a close game all of a sudden.
Again, Incineroar has just as much knockout potential, though that hurt box is massive off of the charge punch. It's almost about like 10 boxing gloves wide. Ligma Boy going to take a full stock lead, just 14% on the second stock. Going to be able to put themselves in the driver's seat momentarily. But Jacob trying to find their way back in. The problem is that you have to try to wrestle your way in to try to get this Lil Mac off of the stage. So much easier said than done. Charge punch is coming back. Dark Lariat, perfect timing going to be coming through. Now up to 51%, but still the percentage advantage coming through. Revenge, going to be able to get that Flaming Belt up just a little bit stronger. If the Dark Lariat lands, it's probably going to set a Little Mac up to the blast zone.
Yep, and Ligma, such a solid lead, a perfect performance. Jacob just barely making it back on stage there. But the pressure is mounting. As you get up into those triple digits, the character gets a lot more fragile, a lot easier to knock out. But you can make this comeback, folks. So Jacob, even though it looks dire, there's still the chance. You can see 3 hits there, taking Ligma all the way up to 30%. If he can build that up 60, 70, 80% and land another one of those lariats, he could come back in this game.
Nice little conversion off these down throws for Jacob. The Incineroar trying to get this percentage early, gonna caught with the revenge out. The Ligma Boy's just gonna run up and start hitting buttons. A little bit of a jab attack. Nice recovery coming through just to make sure he gets onto the stage. But the jab, the 1-2 punch, the knockout coming through. Very close there at the end. The Ligma Boy gonna remain flawless as far as his games are concerned. Gonna take a 1-0 up here in this set.
Yep, absolutely. And you can't ask for much more out of a player if you are the Trojans. This guy, really great performance in Game 1. He comes off with a very strong statement here in Game 4. As we said, folks, I know the UI at the top says 1-1, but that is a little bit of UI bug right now. We are navigating through it. So, as I understand it, I believe that the Trojans are up 2-1 because of the forfeit. So, how this series goes could determine, is the series over, or do we end up going to a Game 5 where we will not be able to see Ligma Boy again? So I would assume that it would default back to the Ridley player.
Oh, probably. Man, we don't know who that third player is.
The mystery third.
Yeah, the
Tuxedo mask, as you would call it.
Maybe it is just Master Hand. It's like, I don't want to face the final boss here in this story mission either. So, so Ligma Boy, Little Mac going to be, definitely put up against the ropes, pun intended, a lot more here in this matchup versus an Incineroar versus what the Corrin out from Audrey Kell had earlier. But we'll have to see. Look, Jacob, he was starting to cook up with gas real quick. The one thing about Little Mac, specifically for Ligma Boy, understanding you got to press a lot of buttons for sure. That revenge value is going to be massive coming through for an Incineroar player. Again, as a super heavy, can live for a long time. And if you land that Dark Lariat, again, that's side B for Incineroar. It's all timing based for you to hit that special button one more time to be able to send Little Mac flying. It was good for it twice on over, but with the revenge value, it's almost a guaranteed knockout.
Yep, another solid start here for Ligma, but Jacob equalizing it. He's probably learned this matchup a little bit in map 1, a little bit better in map 1. And you can see he just keeps defaulting back to that Lariat. 87% up on the floor. Nice uppercut. That's how fast it can go from smooth to you're out of the stage, ladies and gentlemen. Ligma Boy at 111% though. He's going to be kind of fragile. Shouldn't be too long if Jacob can get a solid combo going here. Execution could send him off the stage. Not quite able to send him off with that 140.
Nair's going to be able to do it, and this is the one thing that Jacob's really starting to understand when it comes down to Ligma Boy, specifically for Little Mac. Wants to keep boots on the ground constantly. He's going for a lot of these falling aerials. Is making making Ligma Boy have to look up, but a little bit of a self-destruct coming through. Again, this is kind of dire straits now for Jacob, and specifically for Audrey Kell, having to work their way back into this set. It's down as far as stock is concerned. 70% to Ligma Boy on this Little Mac. Dark Lariat, not going to be enough for the knockout, but Knockout Punch is available. Good little edge guard transition to send Little Mac off of the stage, and that recovery, again, is buns. Not able to come back.
Yeah, 0% to 35. And good news, ladies and gentlemen, we have our UI fixed. We can see that Audrey Kell is up 2-1 against Olympic. So this could be, Jacob has the opportunity to close this out for his team right now. Just a little action, a little confusion, but we're all just here having a good time. Jacob up to 108%. I have to believe, based on what I've seen from Ligma Boy, he's about to uppercut, send Jacob to the moon.
Oh! So that in Smash is what we call a two-frame. And what the two-frame is there off of, I believe, is the down smash for Little Mac. It actually goes underneath the edge of the corner of the stage. There's only a certain amount of stages that you can actually get away with that. Only certain characters do have that. But once you touch the ledge for the first time from an edge guard, you do have that invulnerability. But there's this little bit of an opening, those 2 frames from you getting to that ledge, that you are vulnerable. And we saw that a lot versus the Corrin earlier today, and that's exactly what comes through there to be able to take this set. Again, Ligma Boy going flawless on the day.
Yep, just another thing. We're going to go into set 5, and I'm really excited for this because, there's been a confusion in the series, but the games have been really good. I really like how Jacob did with Incineroar against Ligma Boy there, much closer than our first game that we saw. Ligma Boy is now out of the game, right? He can no longer participate in the series. Ridley player looked very good. That is someone that I reasonably expect Olympic to come in. And if the game 3 was a forfeit, just guy wasn't around, maybe he showed up in time. Maybe their superstar comes late to the show, and maybe we get something new and exciting for game 5 in this series.
I'm gonna put on my double bill cap and not have a cornball pipe, obviously, because we are indoors. But I think that the Ridley, that had to have been from Audrey Kell, right? So then the forfeit had to have been from Olympic High School. I don't know what's happening anymore. But D's,
we get Isabel.
Yeah, but D's back into the game. Are we going to Town City? How is this a canon event? It is. It's absolutely a canon event. Isabel got the home turf advantage. versus Punisher on this Ridley, who again looked really good earlier on. We got ourselves a set number 5, winner takes all.
And if I'm not mistaken, Andy, I'm pretty sure that D is who we saw earlier face off against Punisher, but on a different character. I'm blanking on that character's name right now. Palutena. So we get a matchup here, but D said, hey, you know what? Maybe Palutena wasn't the right thing. I'm going to go with Isabel. I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing. What a great game, by the way. But Punisher off to a great start. Maybe at this point you should have stuck with Palutena? What can Isabel do in this game?
Has a lot of projectiles, much to the point that is Animal Crossing. And same with Villager. You see the pocket right there. It is a 1-for-1 as far as what the Villager has. You can also see just the down special as well, setting the traps up. The most annoying thing that Isabel has within their kit is going to be that fishing rod. You can see, again, I mean, D is fishing, quite pun intended, for a massive robotic dragon. Up to 120% still on their first stock is Punisher. The problem with Isabel is trying to be able to get that kill confirmation. The fishing rod just continues to end in a forward throw rather than a back throw to potentially get that KO. But D going to be able to get the spike down off of the down special. Up to 170%. Punisher living for a long time. There is the kill throw up the top. Now tied up, 2 stocks apiece.
Yep. Going fishing. Caught a large fish there in Ridley. That's definitely going to be one that's going to go into the museum over there. Tom Nook's going to be proud of that one. Nice little balloon to float back up. Speaking of that, I need to go take care of my island at some point. See how my villagers are doing. COVID was such a wonderful time for him.
It really was.
Wow. Wow. I mean, I blinked and my mind forgot the percentage, but I feel like D was only at 70, 80% and just easily got knocked out by Punisher. But D had to take Punisher up all the way to 170 to get a knockout. Is that a typical matchup scenario here, or is Punisher just playing out of his mind?
A Punisher is absolutely playing twisted, but again, the thing about D on this Isabel is that they're a light medium, so you're going to see some pretty early kill percentages, especially at the end of the stage from Punisher. Going to be able to go for that tech grab, that side special. D all the way to the blast zone, able to get back to the stage. Going to be caught with at least an up air there from Punisher. Trying to go for the up air themselves, but D cannot connect. Now all the way off the stage, nice little air dodge to get back to the safety net of the edge, but one tech grab away. Good DI from D, just barely staying alive, but the chase off the edge will get the job done off of the fair. Punisher going to take the set and lead into the series there for Olympic.
Yep. Wonderful first game here in this best of 5. A good way to kick us off. So, Andy, let's talk about the important thing of the day. I'm getting word. We had a best of 5 here, and I believe that there's some time constraints, and this will be our only best of 5.
This will be the only best of 5, yeah, and then everything's going to be going down to a best of 3, so we'll have to see. I mean, hey, look, at this point, like, there's no constraints as far as, like, the characters that you can play. So if you're D, do you go back to the Palutena? Do you have a third character that you could possibly also play that has a certain amount of reflect and capabilities of boxing out of Ridley? Because you got to do something, because that is a big fire-breathing dragon that is just continuously running you down. So I don't know. The Palu didn't work out. The Isabel I felt like was somehow worse. Again, it's just unable to really get the eliminations, and Punisher's doing a good job of just like jumping around all the different projectiles as well. So I mean, only time will tell here as we get in towards what could potentially be the final match, the final game, I should say, within this set. And yeah, D's going to go right back to the Palutena.
Yep. Probably didn't know. I would be interested to know from the format if these players know that they're facing off against each other in that game 5 pick, or if it's a surprise. So he probably went for that pocket pick with the Isabel. It's not going to work out against the Ridley. But I would say, Andy, and you probably know more as being more competitive in this game than I am, is this a bad thing for D to swap back and forth between these two characters? Ridley, he's got his, he's got locked in. His hands are, very warmed up for his combos, his mechanics. D's having to essentially relearn every series right now.
So the thing about it is, like, you're still understanding the matchup. It's just switching in between the characters on what you're supposed to be looking for. In Smash Bros, it's not a terrible look, especially for Ultimate, where you have, again, over 100 different matchups that are potential on the screen at the same time. We're talking, like, back in Melee, like, yeah, no, it's pretty detrimental for you to continuously swap back and forth between a multitude of characters. Though in Ultimate, a lot better characters are going to have a lot better of a matchup comparatively to the others that were already picked. So going back to the Palu, I actually really appreciate 4D. 120% to the 90, trying to box him out with explosive flames. Trying to fish in towards that upper air, but not going to be able to get the connection from the explosive flame. But these tech grabs off the side Bs have just been so good for Punisher.
Yeah, I don't know how you stop this Ridley character here. I mean, the way he's playing it, it makes me want to go home and pick him up and try him myself in some games. Just looks very powerful, has a lot of mobility, able to get back on stage. D's hoping to balance this matchup out a little bit. Got Punisher all the way up to 140%. So that Dragon is feeling a little fragile, a little fragile. But D needs to get them off the stage to equalize this stock count to hopefully have a chance to come back. Every time these players have went against each other, it's come down to that final stock for each player. Punisher just always with the slight edge advantage.
And the way that the stage has transitioned with these 3 different platforms, a lot of different opportunity. Nice little mash out coming through from D, but both characters making it back to the stage. 156 to the 59. And the second stock for D. Punisher is just fishing wildly. I mean, you got the stock advantage. The back air almost got the elimination. Best way to always gauge whether or not an elimination can come through off the stock is when you get the red sparks coming through from the connection off the stage. 2 stock lead, 156%. The rage meter is at an all-time high.
Yep, and you have to be feeling good if you are Audrey, Kell? Is that Punisher playing for? Punisher is Audrey, Kell. You have to be feeling good. You know, you came out, it looked like, right, from the casting perspective, you know, you've been on a wild ride this whole story. You were down 2-0, you equalized it to 1-1. You ended up in this 2-2 scenario somehow through the magic of production and casting and errors, and you're in a very strong position to take this series 3-2.
Last potential stock for the Olympic Trojans. Just gonna run right through Punisher. Just like raised him on the cheek on the way through. 1 fireball instead of like the 5 that can come flying out. And I mean, Punisher is just playing with their food at this point. Setting out a couple wild projectiles from D on the Palutena. Gonna be caught at least with a forward air or forward smash, excuse me. But Punisher is just looking for that one last hit. You gotta try to go for the tech grab. Cannot connect. He's doing a good job of just trying to finesse, but it's that one-hit combination that comes through for Punisher. Audrey Kell gonna be able to take this entire series versus the Olympic Trojans, and the only one that actually took any games whatsoever, surprisingly, was Ligma Boy on that little Mech.
Yep.
Who would have thought?
Ligma Boy pulling his weight in both of those. We had the forfeit there to balance this matchup out, or very realistically, it could have ended up in a type of 3-1 scenario switch there. We do have our next match staged, Andy. We're going to have the East Mech Eagles versus the Hopewell Titans. This time, folks, everything we told you at home, completely accurate and up to date, but instead of a best of 5 for the overall series, it is only a best of 3 this time going forward, just for the sake of time, folks.
Yeah, so far as we know. I mean, everything is obviously very subject to change. As we saw, forfeits might always occur, but moving from a best of 5 down to a best of 3, it's going to be like the same stipulations. Obviously, you saw the sets, players coming back in potentially, but when it comes down to a best of 3, you're only going to probably realistically see those 3 players actually stepping on in. If you're winning those first 2 sets, don't gotta worry about it if you're that 3rd player. You get to sit there and just watch your team absolutely thrive, but hey, anything might just be on the cards for a lot of these different high school teams, especially when it comes down to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So the first series is done and dusted. Audrey Kell going to be able to win that opening setup for us here on this Thursday evening, but we have plenty more, as Michael just brought up. East Mech Eagles going up against Hopewell Titans just after this very short break. Do not go anywhere. We got some more Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on the other side of this break.
find the loudest tease. We set down by the fire, knowing we could aim higher, but we didn't know that yet. So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees, waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my farmland. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic club. I remember the ocean, memories die out too hard. But we were traveling the mountains just to find the loudest tease. We sat down by the fire, knowing we could aim higher, but we didn't know that yet. So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees, waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my farmland. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic club.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Thursday evening here for some more CMS action. My name is Proper. Joining with me is Tumbleweed. Much like last night, we had Valorant. Today, we are going through some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Last series, we had an absolute banger, went all the way towards the 5th and final set, where we had the Audrey Kell Knights being able to take the win there. But again, for some housekeeping, just so everybody knows we're on the same page here, we are now moving into best of 3s rather than best of 5. So again, you'll see the stocks being played out continuously. It's best of 3s within best of 3s, so if you're winning those sets inside of those best of 3s, that'll then be a point towards your team. You win 2 sets, you take the set, the entire match.
Yep, and in a lot of ways, it does make every series more important. You don't have that ability for your players to, have a day off, right? And they have to make their impact in their matchup, or they could cost their team the entire series. Unlike the last series that we just witnessed, where Ligma could carry his team all the way to that Game 5, and unfortunately, they just came up just a little bit short against Punisher and the Audrey Kell Knights. Every game matters, folks. Again, best of 3 for the sake of time, but we are here for 4 weeks, so this format may go back to a best of 5. We just have to wait and see kind of how the story unfolds. But we're getting ready to hop right into the East. Mech Eagles versus the Hopewell Titans, and I'm sure that they cannot wait to get into this action as we transition over to the gameplay now.
This is going to be an interesting one. We have ourselves a little bit of Super Smash Bros. Past coming back to haunt us here in Ultimate. Again, this is the benefit of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. If you haven't watched any of this title, we have every single character. If you were in a Super Smash Bros. Game of past, you made it into this title, and there are characters that are still being added into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Bayonetta, the character that ruined a lot of individuals, mine included, when it came down to Smash Ultimate, is into this title. Not as strong as where Bayonetta was located at, and she, all the way back from Smash Melee, not as potent as they were back in Smash Melee, sure, but still very deadly, still very quick.
Yep, I've got a lot of hours under my belt as a Sheik player. But that was back when Melee Ultimate did not play as much, so we see a nice even start here between God Chicken representing Hopewell and Tiki Milk for East Mech. Nice little kind of reverse hurricane thing there that I think Bayonetta did. Interesting maneuvers here. Just trying to guard that edge, make sure the Sheik cannot find their way back on the stage. But Sheik, very mobile character, very quick, very tricky, and could really turn the odds against you in just a fraction of a moment if you mess up.
Nice recovery.
Almost saw a pineapple there.
Yeah. But Bayonetta has just a really obscure recovery where they had the ability to be able to hit up special a multitude of times. You also saw the wings kind of pop out through the flutter jump. Up smash going to get the job done there to take the first stock off of God Chicken. So all evened up as far as stocks are concerned, and that becomes the immediate consideration on how quickly can God Chicken be able to rack up this percentage off of all the different aerial maneuvers that are at Sheik's disposal. Quick 43%, nowhere near kill percentage. Again, that is where Sheik does struggle in a game like Smash Ultimate. But you could say the same thing for Bayonetta. So Tiki Milk trying to at least go for a very old combination of being able to get those aerials, not allowing God Chicken to touch the ground. Now flips the lead in their favor for percentage.
Yep. A little bit of a history lesson here for you, Andy. I just looked it up, and the phrase pineapple in Smash actually came from the bottom of Dreamland that had just an odd-looking geometry. And
Makes
since
sense.
it looked like a pineapple, that's how the term was born.
That makes sense. It does look like a pineapple. And I love pineapples. 88% instead of 58. God Chicken may be leading as far as the stock is concerned, but anything could happen within between how light these characters are. Trying to at least go for the stop. Goes for at least the counter dodge from Tiki Milk. So up to 106%. Grenade's going to connect all the way up top. It's going to send Tiki Milk over towards the left blast zone. Going to charge up at least those shurikens. Trying to see maybe if they can find a way, and God Chicken charging up the up smash. Not going to be able to get the connection, though. It's very close to being able to get the stock out, but Tiki Milk will be able to find the connection. With recovery, though, the forward smash, just a fist come flying into your face. Now the lead has been flipped. Tiki Milk leads.
Yep, God Chicken really keeping this game close. It is 130% on Tiki Milk. She does have the ability to do some very explosive maneuvers to get people off the stage, but Bayonetta's looking quite tricky, quite slippery to keep off. Nice little combo from God Chicken there. Equalize it, 40% deficit. That's not insurmountable, so this is a very close matchup. Perhaps one of the closest we've seen today.
Absolutely. Nice combos coming through from the double jab, but press a button is going to be able to react out of it. Is Tiki Milk. Nice little forward air, trying to at least knock Bayonetta back down to the ground. A little bit of a dolphin flip to be able to create some separation. Forward smash will be missing wildly, but knives being thrown out. Could be the opening perhaps, but falling Nair going to create more separation again. God Chicken has done a good job this stock being able to at least mitigate the damage. But just one good connection coming through. Going to be able to get the combination. The jab as well cannot get the next up special to get the over-the-top elimination. But we are in one-hit territory for Tiki Milk to take this first game.
Yep, just a fraction of the distance off the top screen elimination there. Able to slip away. You can see God Chicken, the health, got that smoky effect. That's showing that you're really fragile, and at any moment, one wrong maneuver, one bad block, one wrong dodge, you could be out of this match and lose the first game in this map. 162 to 94, and there we go. We have that side smash off the stage. Tiggy Milk clutching it up for East Mech for map 1 in this series.
Yep, going to be able to at least take that first map in this opening set in between East Mech versus Hopewell. And yeah, I mean, again, it's a very interesting matchup when you think about it at the end of the day in between a Bayonetta and especially a Sheik as well. Again, two characters that kind of struggle to be able to find those timings to be able to get the eliminations. I mean, obviously you saw there with the smash attacks from Bayonetta. You could act with one of those, and if Sheik is anywhere near over 75%, if you're close to the edge of the stage, you're probably going to die, especially on a stage that like Final Destination where it's all even across the entirety of the blast zones. It's just very difficult for Sheik to be able to find those maneuvers to get in to be able to get set kill percentages. Those smash attacks do not hit like they did in Melee.
Yep, and it just looked like it was two really slow, methodical players going at it. Both characters appear to be very combo-based, whereas it looked like Ripley in the last series, very much like a one-hit wonder, chunking you big percentage at a time. Here, it's all about your setup. It's all about connecting, carrying them off the stage, and isolating them so they can't make it back.
We'll have to see if there's any different stage selection. I assume would probably go over towards God Chicken there on the Sheik. Any character swaps as well?
We have some new characters here. Some new players.
New players.
Yeah, Trips and Priz coming in. Trips for East Mech. Okay, but we get Captain Falcon, everybody, and everybody knows the Falco Punch. And Lucas here on the other side. A little bit of Pika Thunder, PK Fire for your good stuff. Scoreboard not updated at the top of the screen, so have to assume that this series changed players and perhaps there was not an update made.
So this is the second set, is the way that I'm understanding it. So I guess like we're just playing like the one and dones.
From my understanding, this was game 2 of the first set, so it appears that the players can substitute out within an individual set. You know, was not aware that that was the case, but regardless, a nice little PK Thunder to knock Priz off the stage. Priz, what are you doing? You're not Falco Punch spamming. That's all I ever did against the AI back in the day in Melee.
Probably not going to work as versus Lucas again. If we're talking about characters way back when, Lucas, if you're new to Smash, is the counterpart of Ness. Let's have Charlie. That's the little snake that keeps popping out. PK Thunder going to bounce Captain Falcon all over creation. But the forward tilt going to be able to get the job done there. Going to be able to at least take that first stock off of Troops. What more could you possibly find here if you are Trips? Well, I guess things kind of help out when Priz just can't make it back to the stage. Final stock here for Priz.
Yeah, and I do remember Lucas. Lucas is a deceptively hard character to keep off the stage. Now, it is very skill-driven. I say that, but you're going to see, oh, he stops the PK Thunder. Using that PK Thunder in a way to boost himself back onto the edge. Priz tries to go down, kick him off. That's where the skill comes in for Lucas, right? You saw him reset that PK Thunder. He's able to rotate it, push himself back up the stage. Deceptively, so much mobility, but also if you can't execute that, it's so easy to knock you off and you can't make it back.
Oh, absolutely. And it's also very easy to just kind of fly off, especially for Captain Falcon. Was expecting for maybe like an edge trumped. Basically what that means is like when the character is kind of like in a free fall, like what you saw from Lucas going for that up special, the PK Thunder to circle back around to get them back over towards the corner of the stage. Could have fell down with a forward air. That comes through from Captain Falcon. That gives you that knee connection, has what we call a tibber in Super Smash Bros., where if you connect with the shiny little sparky part on Captain Falcon's knee, it actually sends you flying into the blast zone, extra knockback with little extra percentage as well. So that's going to be the Lucas coming through from, what was that, East Mech Eagles, going to be able to at least take that stock advantage. So we'll have to see what the next one will bring us. We've had Bayonetta and Lucas coming through from East Mech Eagles, a Sheik and a Captain Falcon for Hopewell Titans. Who knows what we're going to get next? So far, we've had quite an array of characters.
Yeah, it's a nice little bit of diversity. Everyone's getting represented here on the Super Smash Bros. Stage. And we always love to see that, right? It just lets you know the game is in a pretty good state. As we go in and we've got Tiggy Milk and God Chicken coming back to the stage, and East Mech did take that first set, so these players just resetting, coming back for this face-off. Last time we did see Tiggy Milk get the best of this situation, but God Chicken did put up a good fight. Looking for a little bit of a revenge tour here for Hopewell.
All right, so 1-0 lead here. Again, this would technically be series points should East Mech take this set. Bayonetta was very, very good, especially in the clutch there in the final stock. They run it back on FD. God Chicken gonna have the slight lead here, trying to box out the Bayonetta, trying to get some spot dodges as well to be able to get some damage in combination. But here comes some of those aerial combos going back towards the center of the stage. Could not get any higher though. Was Tiggy Milk able to at least get a nice little shield to be able to create some separation in the forward smash. Bam! Right in your face. First stock taken.
Yep, Tiggy Milk just carrying the momentum that they had in the first matchup. He's saying, hey, what's a god to a Tiggy Milk? God Chicken popping off. Only 9% life. He's doing good on this second stock, but gets caught in the combo once again from Bayonetta, and just like that, 9% up to 72%. I mean, and it was in your blink of an eye, folks. That's how on your game you have to be in a game like Super Smash Brothers. One flaw, it just really sets the stage for the matches. Tiggy Milk goes up 3 stocks to 1. God Chicken did look a lot better in the first matchup. Perhaps nerves getting to him.
Last potential stock coming through here for Hopewell in the opening salvo of this the second set. God Chicken has to do damn near unthinkable, because this Tiggy Milk Bayonetta is just in the flow state right now. 121%, so you feel like one good combination from maybe a Dolphin kick would be able to get the elimination, but I mean, Tiggy Milk, again, is just doing Bayonetta things, just aerials all over the place, just crossing you up, catching you pressing buttons. God Chicken having to recover all the way down low, goes for the down air, very unorthodox, but it does connect. Is able to connect towards the forward air, trying to work for this edge guard, but some early buttons being pressed. Up tilt, going to send Tiggy Milk back towards the blast zone, but cannot get the elimination.
Yep, you see Sheik over there charging up a few shurikens to try to not get 3-0'd, right? That you don't want that. It's going to be very demoralizing if your character finally gets him off 171% to get that side smash. Finally get Tiggy Milk, but now Tiggy Milk's back at 0. It just took you 3 lives to get 1 kill. If you're God Chicken, you have to be executing flawlessly at this point. Perfect. You need perfect dodges, perfect iframes. You don't need to throw your shurikens off the stage in the wrong direction.
Oh, combination all the way to the corner blast zone. And that's just Bayonetta things right there. God Chicken was at the perfect percent for all of that to connect. Obviously, to be talked about for the DI, if you're kind of DIing in, that becomes a little bit more trepidatious to try to get yourself out of, but you don't really have the opportunity to be able to spam your spot dodge. It may seem, if you are God Chicken there, to be able to fall back in towards the stage. So, yeah. Big stuff coming through as Tiggy Milk there on the Bayonetta will end up taking that, able to still maintain those 2 stocks. So that's going to be a lead in this set for East Mech. So I'm sure that we'll probably end up seeing 2 other characters come back in, 2 other players come back in. Do we get the salty run back of the Captain Falcon versus the Lucas?
I don't think there's any way the Captain Falcon returns against that Lucas unless it's just a mismatch. Lucas will definitely come back.
Yeah.
But you're hoping that if you are the Captain Falco player, that if you picked, you're not going against that Lucas. We're about to find out as we hop right in here. What type of matchup do we have, Andy? It's looking like East Mech with Lucas and Captain Falcon again, Trip and Priz. This matchup last time, very one-sided. Priz looking for a comeback tour. Trips did win the last series, I believe. Pretty much 3-1 at the last second. Priz was able to knock him off. But if you're Priz, right, remember how the last time these folks ended. Priz tried to go off stage, ruin Trips' comeback, and Trips just outmaneuvered him. Out-mechanicked him quick, early stock. They're only 20% cost. Captain Falco notoriously does not have a good recovery, right? You can see that uppercut. Very hard for him to get back on the stage.
Oh.
Yo-yo.
Oh, the Z? Just constantly just hitting the Z button, just waving at you. Again, Charlie the Snake does not do a lot of damage, but very frustrating to go up against. As Prince is just trying to find his way in, is able to at least get the side B maneuver, create some separation. Up special from the recovery in towards the aerial dodge to at least get back to the stage cleanly. 112 to 90. Down to about a one-hit territory, but Lucas is a big hitter. Do not take this little boy for granted. That boy is hard. Forward tilt going to send Trips off of the stage, and a falling forward air will take the first stock.
Yep. Lucas may hit hard, but Captain Falco hits harder, even if it's his head against the side of the stage, and he goes down. One more stock, 2-1 lead for Lucas and Trips. You have to be feeling really good right now. If you are East Mech, Tiggy Milk set the stage for Trips to close out this series. 54 to 22. Priz, the nerves are building. You just lost this matchup last time, but in Priz's defense, this is a much better showing than the first matchup that we saw. He's keeping these percentages a lot closer. Trips is not able to out-mechanic him, out-finesse him, at least not as obviously. He's keeping this matchup not as one-sided, so props to you, Priz. You're doing great this time.
Potential last stock territory here for Hopewell here in this best of three. We're in the second set. If Trips can get this last stock off of Priz, it will call set. PK Freeze actually invested. Not really a move that we see all too often in between both Lucas and Ness. But hey, how about a little bit of a trip up into the stick? It will get the job done. That forward smash hits incredibly hard. That Lucas is godlike.
Yep, sign Lucas up for the New York Yankees. That was a beautiful home run. He just hit straight out of the park. Closing out that series 2-0 for Hopewell.
Yeah, pretty convincing stuff, I will say that much coming through. I mean, the Bayonetta versus Sheik, as far as the first set was concerned, was incredibly close. Came down to a last stock territory, a last hit territory almost. And again, when we got down to the Lucas versus the Falcon, just felt like a little bit of a mismatch, though. Facing up against any Lucas player is going to be no easy feat, no matter the way that you shake it. So that's going to be our second series done as far as East Mech Eagles versus Hopewell Titans are concerned. So with that all being said, we're going to throw things to another short break, but we have many more best of threes coming your all's way here on this Thursday night. It's going to be CMS for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. On the other side, we got CEEC taking on the Mallard Creek High School. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Bright lights, they put me in a daze, and I can't stop but think about the way that you move around up and down on that stage. It's your future vibes. Bright lights, they put me in a daze, and I can't stop but think about the way that you move around up and down on that stage. It's your future vibes.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a lovely Thursday night here in Charlotte, North Carolina for some more CMS high school action. We got some more Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for you all. Again, my name is Proper. Join with me is Tumbleweed. And we are 2 series deep into our Super Smash Bros. Ultimate evening here, Michael. And now we're going up for a Charlotte Engineering Early College versus the Mavericks of Mallard Creek. Again, it's all best of threes going forward, but it's best of threes within best of threes just to make sure everybody understands what we are talking about here. So if you win the best of 3 set within the best of 3, you get 1 point. You have to do that twice, then you're going to win the series.
Yep, absolutely. Every player has to pull their weight, as we saw in that last series. The games, match 1, map 1 is what we'll call it. Put your best player up. Or do you put your worst player up, Andy? How do you start the stage? Do you save your best for last, or do you start off trying to demoralize the other team? Between Mallard Creek and CEEC, I'm very excited to see their strategies as they unfold into this match.
We haven't had a similar character pick for all the students that have been on our screen so far, and that's going to be the continuation. Suerte coming out with what is arguably the top 3, if not top 2, potentially even the best, depending on what local you're playing at, if Steve is banned. Coming out with the Joker versus Jupandi on the Kazuya. Got a Persona versus a actual fighting game characters. This could get bloody very, very quickly.
Yep, if I'm looking on paper, Kazuya should have this decades of fighting games under his belt, right? What has Joker done, right? Lost to Batman.
It looks cool. That's what he
does look cool.
You got some Kingdom Hearts
nice
music playing in the background, too. Like, I'm here for this. Let's go. Mini Battlefield.
For the people at home, I see a bar above Joker's head. What is that signifying to me? What is that?
That's for the big brother. That's it. If the Persona can come out, that's what the big brother will be. That's when Joker starts moving like a truck. It changes his moves ever so slightly, not with how you input them, but with how heavy that they actually hit. So we'll have to see if that bar does get completed. It completes at a lower value should Suerte be in the lead, or any Joker player, much like what you're seeing right here, about double the percentage onto the Kazuya for CEEC. But, had center control, I should say. But yeah, that recovery with the wings coming out is pretty difficult to have. I will say this much as far as the matchup is concerned. This is a very difficult one for Kazuya, given how fast and how nimble a Joker player is, even going for the wave dashes in the middle of the stage, getting that first stock.
Joker be nimble, Joker be quick. He just beat Jupandi with his hit stick. I messed that up, but it's all good. Demon Wings. What is that Big Brother? Is that what you're talking about?
That's the Persona coming out.
Interesting.
And that's what I mean. Like, it starts hitting a whole lot heavier as well. So you'll see, like, the side specials have a certain lingering hitbox as well. Forward smashes also become very, very strong to boot. Up to 143%, and that, again, Big Brother about to come out to play, and Jupandi would do well to be able to claim this stock before he does.
They do say Big Brother is always watching, Andy. 150%. Now, when he goes into this mode with Big Brother, same moves, just stronger, new move set?
Yeah, same move, just stronger. Some hitboxes become a little bit more lingering, but see what happens once you do get eliminated there with Persona out to play. Completely gets depleted, so gonna have to work up that bar once again, but you're still sitting pretty. Some pretty big hits coming out, so Arsene once again out to play. Down tilt, going to at least knock Jupandi back up to the air. Forward smash not gonna connect wildly, and again, Jupandi is just getting completely ran around right now. 64% to the 135, cannot grab the ledge in time off of the recovery. Last stock potential here for CEEC in this opening set.
Yep, a little bit of a pineapple situation there, as we have learned from game 1. So everyone's up on their lingo. And you can see there, folks, seems like something to do with the mask on Joker. I've noticed that from the character icon, as soon as Big Brother comes out, he takes the mask off, changes the character icon there for everyone, and he's building that meter very fast. Does he charge that, I assume, on his smash maneuvers, or is it just
taking damage and doing damage?
Taking damage and doing damage, got it. So Jupandi, you really have to be kind of reserved here from a strategy. You need to very balance, right? Very mindfully balance how much damage you're dishing out, because Big Brother could always be watching and come out and just really ruin your day.
Ooh.
As we get down to a 1-to-1 stock, 80% difference though, definitely not insurmountable.
Oh, we got parries? We got parries now. Mallard versus CEEC coming out to play. Last stock for both of these two characters. Suerte halfway towards that Arsene charge. Forward grab going to be coming out for Chupandy. Just some good damage, but not going to be able to get the spacing for another combination. But at least we got to see something stellar. That up tilt to a followed up air into an up special is a good kill percentage once you do get to that point. Not going to be able to get the tech grab, but no recovery whatsoever, too low. That is the one thing I will say out of Joker with Arsene, that recovery becomes a little bit easier to be able to finesse, where you come flying back up towards the ledge. Without Arsene, you just got to rely on a grapple. You're too far away from the ledge, like what you just saw there from Suerte. Well, you're a little SOL right there. So big comeback potential for Chupandy, who, again, was seemingly down the majority of that stage, but is still able to take the set, this series nonetheless.
Absolutely. I would certainly call that a comeback by Chupandy. A little bit of a clutch scenario to stick with our Valorant terms from yesterday. He was down. I think he had like 40% health when he finally got that stock even. Actually, he was up at 90. I remember now. He had 90% when he got Joker onto the last stock, able to bring that back. That just goes to show you folks at home, you are never out. You always have to be watching these Smash games, because if you blink, you could miss the stock that ties the game up.
Especially when things start happening off the stage as well. So loading in towards the second stage here of the first set. Going to be having any sort of changes whatsoever. We got ourselves a little bit of a Joker-on-Joker battle. I don't blame Chupandy for this character swap. Albeit taking that first stage, this is a smart pick, because he was quite literally getting circles ran around him. So we're going to have the suit jacket Joker versus the leather jacket Joker. It's going to get incredibly confusing, but thank you, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, for at least showing us player names at the bottom of the screen as well. So in the suit for Mallard, CEEC going to be in the leather jacket.
Yep, absolutely. Chupandy with the swap up. He is off to a bad start. I always find this interesting. We talked about it a little bit in our last series, changing characters up. You have to always, you have to get reaccustomed to the combos that you're doing, retrain that muscle memory for everything you're doing. Chupandy did have some really good parries coming out in his last matchup. Joker did not appear to have any type of parry mechanics. 77% up on Chupandy, 44 on Suerte, and building, looking like a close start to this first stock between them. And as you can see, guys, we're going to have these big brothers, these kind of illusions, we'll call them, these figures floating behind the characters, so it could get quite flashy, quite confusing on screen. We're going to do our best to follow it and just bring you along for the ride. Chupandy, 130%, grabbing onto that ledge. This is a close stock.
Nice tech actually coming through there to make sure that they don't go flying off the stage. You have such a small amount of time to be able to react to just ricocheting off of the stage itself, that you can hit a button and you'll actually nullify the counter effect that is you flying in towards the blast zone. So first stock taken, Suerte will have that lead. Arsene very close to being popped there for Chupandy. Just probably one more hit away, if not a couple more hits to come out for themselves to be able to call Arsene. Does have that advantage. Here comes the Persona now out to play. Chupandy has to utilize that recovery just to be able to get back over towards the ledge. It is quick and fast-paced action. Back throw will take Suerte off of the stage, but still able to reset back towards the center of the stage. And that's what I'm talking about. The recovery difference in between having Arsene and not. Very similar to how Suerte lost that first stage, just falling off to their ultimate defeat.
Yep, absolutely. And really a lot of mirror situations coming up here from that first map. You can see Chupandy, even in the last map, started off a little slow, lost his first stock early, was able to bridge it back into the second stock, ultimately was behind going into the third stock. But this time, they're very even. Chupandy with a huge comeback here, but he's teetering on the edge there. Suerte putting that pressure on. They both make it back onto the stage safely. Just a little bit of a reset. Chupandy hoping to keep him off the edge this time. This go around. 150%. Ticking up to 160. Almost like a burn effect going on.
Yeah, so with Arsene, if you connect with that that side B, that's what I'm talking about. It has a lingering hitbox, and then you also get a certain burning effect that also comes out to play as well. Nice little up smash for Chupandy, going to be able to get that stock off the top. But it's surprising to see any Joker living past 150%. Yeah, that'll get the elimination right there. A little bit of
an up tilt. It's a fresh game. 0-0. One stock. This is what moments are made of, a little 1v1 action here.
The Arsene bars are actually just right about to be similar as well. Suerte is actually getting the majority of the damage in this final stock territory, so it seems that the Arsene might come out first for Chupandi.
Yep, and you can see Suerte getting a little bit of an edge here in this stock. Chupandi definitely had a very good second stock to his name. 93% Chupandi. He's got to be feeling the pressure, but he did come back in our first map. If he can close this out, he will take the first series point for CEEC. Building up, 76% for Suerte. Kind of the similar look that we just had for the last stock matchup.
Arsene about to run out for Suerte. He's chasing for the final hit required. Arsene is gone. 120 to 79. Chupandi now off the stage. Trying to find the recovery back over. Suerte needs to be careful. He's lost too many stocks trying to go for edge guards. Gonna chase down. A little bit of a counter coming out. That down B gives you more Arsene charge. Chupandi 150%, but the back air off the ledge will finally connect. Suerte evens up the series.
1-2-1. Andy, I know you said that you were happy, right, with the mirror match, the Joker v Joker. However, if you're Chupandi, you just lost a match that you did have a magnificent comeback for in map 1. Do you go back? Do you change back to the original Kazuya?
No, absolutely not. No, I mean, I'll keep it a $150 with you, and y'all watching can hold the change. The Kazuya probably shouldn't have won that first stage. I'll be candid with you. So this is going the distance, at least into a third. Now I'm starting to question, like, does Chupandi have a third character that can come out to play? Because the Joker didn't look bad. It's just you can tell that the comfortability for Chupandi was not all there comparatively to Suerte, who has been playing Joker continuously through this opening set. So what's the call going to be going in towards this third and final game? And Chupandi will go back to the Kazuya again. Heavy hitting, if you can catch a Joker out and get those combinations that we saw. Again, we did see the jab to up tilt into the up special. That is a kill-confirming combination that Chupandi did throw out to be able to claim one of the stocks in the opening stage. Gonna need that, and it's on Final Destination as well. You have no ledges for any sort of respite at your disposal between these two in this final stage.
Yep, and it always comes down to comfortability. So even though on paper Chupandi should lose this match against Joker, he pulled it off. He did the miracle comeback run, so he's got to be feeling good, a little bit of a confidence booster. And if anything, he might be kicking himself right now that he just didn't stay with that in map 2 while he was comfortable, while he had the muscle memory trained. Now he's got to go back and kind of get more comfortable with this matchup again, get resituated. As you can see, even start with Suerte, as with these previous 2 maps, edging out this first stock quite a bit.
Gonna get caught with a forward smash there out of Chupandi, but back towards center stage. Comes the dash attack, but it's about even back towards center stage. Arsene about to be popped here for Suerte. That meter is just about full. Chupandi gonna be allowed to be getting back towards the ledge. But here comes Arsene. Big Brother's out to play, the side beat. Gonna get a lot of good damage and knock up as well. Not gonna lose the life from the recovery. Arsene is there, so you do go flying back up towards that ledge. 166 and counting up. That is the one benefit of going back to Kazuya. You will live for a long time. Forward smash, missing wildly. Kind of a step back in towards a forward tilt. Gonna send Chupandi all the way out the stage. Recovery, perfectly fine. One good hit. That's all Suerte needs, but Arsene is now gone.
Yep, 180%. Chupandi could go flying off the stage at any moment. Navigating this very well as he shoots the laser beams out of his eye there. Try to get a little pop. He is currently 195% going off stage. Looks like a little bit of perhaps a misclick, but it did look like the laser eyes were able to push him back closer to the stage. And sorry for the darkness at home, everybody, for that brief moment. A little bit of a stream issue, it appeared. But we're back. We have visibility, and it matters because we got to visualize the knockoff stage. Quick response, 0-0. The game is reset. 2 stocks apiece.
Falling down in for the grab. Forward grab now for Chupandi. Looking for the combinations, and Suerte just falls right back into a forward smash. 56% tacked on quickly. Arsene is going to be popped because of that early damage. Jupandy just trying to navigate it. Jupandy, I mean, he's staying in the thick of it. He's continuously getting mixy. Suerte was trying to go for at least a little bit of a counter there, but not going to be able to get it. And I respect that out of Jupandy. Typically, you'll see a lot of players trying to exhaust the clock during an Arsene. Jupandy just loves it. He's living in it as well. Looking for these damages. Back throw will eat Suerte off of the stage. Nice counter coming through from Suerte. All that damage brings Arsene right back out.
Yep, and you can see good parries there. He's really getting comfortable in this matchup. You can tell he's feeling good. You can see that meter, Jupandy's name flashing there. He's got a little bit of a power move banked up. Can he get the finisher hit to get Suerte down? We saw this a moment ago. Goes off the stage.
Bang.
Reset. Just again. Third stock, 0-0. Suerte has taken advantage in all these fresh starts. Can Jupandy close it out like he did in map 1?
Forward throw. Trying to connect on towards that up tilt. Not going to be able to get it. 50%. Arsene is about to be popped once again. Up tilt. Up air. Trying to charge in for the forward smash. Not going to be able to connect. And with that, Arsene being popped, drops back down and towards a forward air himself. Nice little tuck down there from Suerte. Will dodge the eye laser beams. 55 up to now 60% from the burn. Burn is going to continue to be tacked on from these side Bs. Suerte seemingly having the lead with this Arsene out to play. Jupandy still trying to search for his way in towards this stock. Arsene's about to go bye-bye. Jupandy understanding that. Dead even game at about 96% in between these two players. Jupandy inching his way forward, getting caught with a couple of late hits, but the spot dodge just means that Suerte can maintain his presence through the center of the stage. Knocked off stage now. Jupandy having to recover. Aerial dodge, knocked back off again. Probably going to look to relocate himself lower, gets the ledge grab. Nice little forward air to get back towards the center of the stage. Caught in a little bit of a spot dodge. Suerte able to stay alive, but through the up smash, Jupandy will knock him off. Jupandy, Kazuya, getting the job done. We'll take this first set.
Yep, Jupandy says, listen, proper, Andy, you said it couldn't be done. You said it shouldn't be done.
It shouldn't
I'm
have been
going to
done.
show you why and how it can be done. Congrats to Jupandy. They're on a fantastic match. You could definitely tell, if we break down that match and analyze it, Suerte so much more comfortable on the edge matchup, right? Flinging him off stage. Jupandy, though, he got a lot of practice with that recovery coming in. Always able to edge himself back in just the trickiest of situations. Suerte could not finish the job, and he gave Jupandy just enough edge to be able to counter, parry, and capitalize to get Suerte off the stage.
I will say this much as far as the Kazuya is concerned comparatively to the Joker and why it works, whether it's more of a comfort pick than it is anything. It only takes like maybe one or two good moves to be able to get the same benefit that you would versus the Joker, which takes like maybe like 3 to almost 4 at certain points in time. Like you really do have to land those combos, Joker being a lot lighter of a character, a light hitter of a character, considering against for Kazuya, where it's just like you saw like the 3 combination being able to be connected. That'll be a stock very quickly versus a Joker where it would take a multitude of different hits. So first set has been claimed for Charlotte Engineering Early College. Now as we go in towards some new players, here comes a little bit of a heavyweight battle in between Wario, the cousin of Mario, versus the villain of Donkey Kong, King K. Rool.
Yep, and one thing to notice on screen is we do have Jupandy back in the matchup on Wario this time. So not sure how that lines up, especially in the rule set. But you got to be feeling good. Jupandy just pulled off an impressive match one-on-one. He's feeling good. He's nice and warmed up, and he's showing how deep his character pool goes. We've already seen him on Kazuya. We've seen him on Joker. Now we see him on Wario. How many characters does this guy have at his disposal? Because all these characters look like they play completely different.
I will say this much as far as the matchup is concerned. I don't hate this call. I mean, if you're a Joker versus a King K. Rool, the shoe is quite literally on the other foot, right? You get hit a couple of times, you're probably getting knocked off the stage. Wario has a lot more combo potential, as you're seeing on your screen, just almost going from coast to coast there with a couple good nairs in towards a couple good fairs. And he's also a heavyweight as well, versus, say, a Kazuya, who does need to be within mere inches to be able to connect with a lot of their moves. So, looking pretty good. But the damage from the crown throw also being benefited here from Ikaj. Center of the stage being benefited. Nice edge guard coming through the back air from Jupandy. Will claim that first stock.
Yep, Jupandy learning from the last series how to be a master of the edge. Rool coming in here. cheating a little bit, right? He brings his crown in, he sneaks it in. Items are disabled, not for rule. He's going to bring the crown in so he can throw it at you. Get a little bit of item action going on.
I mean, he's got the crown he can throw. He's also got like the cannon, and if you get too close to the cannon, it turns into like a vacuum cleaner as well. Somehow that crown also turns into a pirate hat when all that's going down. DK Roll just got a bag full of tricks right now. 121% for Chupandi on this first stock, by the way. And Ikaj, well, it's about to be even for a percentage, but you can see the stocks. It's a 3-2 lead.
What are you doing? Wake up, King Rule. Oh, you just got sent off the stage, sleeping on the job. Chupandi, smart maneuver here, right? Don't play it out. I mean, you could, right? But you're at 150%. Just go ahead, jump off the stage. When characters spawn back in for their second and third stock, you do have that invincibility timer. Why just give EE Kaj? Is how I'm going to say that name. Why give Ikaj, that's probably the better way to say it, a chance to capitalize, get comfortable? Just jump off the stage, reset the stock.
It probably is Jake Backwards. You're not wrong. But if he wanted it to be Jake Backwards, he would have listed it as Jake Backwards. But it's listed as Ikaj. So
we're reading it as it is on stage.
He's settling his own demise right here. Oh, the falling down here. It's okay.
Chupandi.
The recovery is just perfectly fine there for Ikaj.
How do you fit that alligator in his mouth?
He got a big old mouth.
Little pineapple action.
He was trying to go maybe coast to coast. Again, Wario has that motorcycle at his disposal where he could go underneath the stage and then recover back up. But what goes up comes back down and gets thrown off towards the other side of the stage. So Chupandi will end up taking that first stage there in what could potentially be the second and final set. Here for Charlotte Engineering Early College versus the Mallard Creek Mavs. And I will say this much, as far as giving up that stock for all intents and purposes, even though again, you probably want to try to get as much percentage as possible while you're on that stock. Borrow time is what we call it. You get closer towards that waft, which is exactly what it sounds like if you don't know what Smash Bros. Is. Wario has a really fun and yet smelly mechanic where he charges up a waft, which you saw that glow starting to come through for him. Once he loses that first stock, the waft does gain a certain amount of percentage. He hits down B, he farts, and it sends players into oblivion.
Oh, interesting. The more you know about the mechanics, right? I was just excited to see some Wario motorcycles. Didn't really see it in action as much.
They used
in
it
that
once
round.
And he died because of it.
But the big story of this series, guys, Chupandi just jumping in. Hey, I don't need a team. I got this on my own. We saw him in Game 1 capitalize. He just took Map 1 in this second set. Will we see him capitalize and carry his team to 2 sets and ultimately take the match? Sticking with the Wario, and we get Rob coming out from Ikaj, but could be Jake Backwards.
It probably is, but hey. If it is, then he should have told us.
Note to the kids at home, if you ever want a caster to say your name correctly, just spell it out that way. If it's Jake Backwards, name yourself Jake Backwards in game.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how we'll say it.
That ain't on me. That ain't on me, kid. That's on you. I will say this much, though. I was kind of hoping that Chupandi was going to have maybe another character to pull out instead of the Kazuya or even the Joker.
It's only week 1.
Or we would have made the Thanos reference where it's the characters become the Infinity Stones from the Gauntlet, but doesn't really matter. I will say this much as far as all these different character picks are concerned. Some really cheesy picks. You got Rob on the screen now. This character is busted. Got so many different aerials and combinations, not to mention that eye laser beam can kill you at a multitude of percentage. You see that top as well. It's an item that you can pick up, and we can do what's called some Z-teching, where you can drop it right onto an enemy's forehead, but I don't think Chupandi cares. First stock already taken here on the Wario. That looks pretty darn clean.
Yeah, that's the problem if you're Rob. You are an electronic computer, so if you are busted up, your electronics are probably fried. You're not able to operate at full potential. Can't calculate your moveset quite as well. And someone like Chupandi, I mean, he just stuck a whole alligator in his mouth. He could probably use his computer too. Not a big deal.
That's a lot more iron for your stomach digestion than is probably recommended by your doctor. 91% still on this first stock for Chupandi. 86% now. Rob trying to at least fly off the stage, trying to go for a little bit of an edge guard.
Look at that.
There it goes. All right. Hey. There comes downloading via PC. I guess you could also download via digestion. That seems to be Chupandi's goal. As he will get a couple good chomps. Good guarding around the edge. 3-1 stock advantage. The potential last stock here for Mallard.
9 out of 10 doctors recommend not consuming that much iron. Wario doesn't care. He listens to the 1 of 10 doctors. He's got a diet that works for him. He's a little chunky dude anyway. He's probably not sweating it. As he gets taken off, Ekaj 0%, Chupandy 0%, but up 2 stocks to 1. It's not looking good if you're a Mallard Creek fan.
No, it is not. Now you got to really dive into the cheese drawer. We're talking about some Moonstone levels of cheese, but it doesn't even matter. Speaking of cheese, there's the waft. Oh, it reeks. Gonna be able to claim that final stock there on the Ekaj. Chupandy stepped in towards the throne world. He put on that glove, and he said, I'm going to do it myself. Going to be able to win both of these 2 sets here, one versus a Rob, the other versus a King K. Roll, and then also able to win versus the Joker as well. So that will be CEEC, Charlotte Engineering Early College, an absolute mouthful of a school to say, but we're going to go for it all regardless. Going to be able to take that set 2-0, and we're already three series deep as far as Super Smashes are concerned. Very lightning fast, I will say that much. We're getting a lot of good diversity as far as their character picks are concerned across a multitude of different high schools, but just where we've gotten through 6 different schools so far, we got 2 more on the docket, so we're going to step away for a very short break. But when we come back, we got the Ravens from Rocky River taking on JT Williams. We will be right back. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to some CMS Super Smash Bros. Action. My name is Proper. Join with me, as always, is going to be Tumbleweed. We have already gone through 6 different high schools, which means that there are 2 more left on the docket. JT Williams going to be going up against the Ravens of Rocky River.
Yep, absolutely, and we are expecting a great match. We've honestly seen some really good series. A couple hiccups early on, guys, but just remember, this is week 1 of 4 total. We have a ton of Smash Bros. Actions coming at you every Thursday night for at least the next 4 weeks, right? And after that, we'll assess and go from there. Valorant action, very good. Smash Brothers action, very good. Rocky River, JT Williams, you're the final act of the show. You've had 3 bangers right before you. You have to close this out on a good note.
Yeah, absolutely the case. And he knows bangers, trust me. So going in towards this one, we're going to have Do It For Etika, lovely name, going up against Cody. No, I mean, you'd have to assume that that's not his first name. That's just his player name for sure. Do It For Etika, a lot of good history behind that. I'll let everybody do your own Googling on why that is absolutely the case. Do It For Etika coming in towards this series as a Kazuya. We actually get our first reprisal of a character across 2 different series. But Cody coming out on the Nest, which is not a reprisal character, but is also from the same game as Lucas.
Yep, and if you keep hearing a lot of PK Fires and PK Thunders, you're not confusing it, right? These are the same exact characters, movesets and all as far as I'm concerned, but Cody off to a little bit rougher start than the Lucas we saw earlier.
Yep, they're similar and yet different. Cody's shield getting down to a M&M-sized tic-tac at that point.
Yeah, Do It For Etika, I just noticed, was flawless in that first run. Had 0%.
Oh, yeah, Cody also didn't make it back to the stage. Just one edge guard away, but Cody looking to answer back with one of himself again. Where Ness has the advantage as far as the mid-stage is concerned versus a Lucas are those forward airs. Nice little parry coming through for Do It For Etika. Going to be able to reset to the bottom of the stage. Up air through the up tilt. Foss falling down to the up special. Going to get some good damage, but cannot connect onto the eye lasers to send Cody blasting.
Yeah, and Do It For Etika, really a good showing here on the Kazuya. I mean, we saw it earlier against the Joker, a little bit different of a matchup, character speed and strength-wise, but he's looking really good on this character, definitely doing it justice. I feel like we might see a lot of this in this event as he takes up 3-1 stocks against Cody and the Ness.
There's a certain level of views being showcased right now. Up smash will claim the second stock. Forward air, or forward grab, excuse me, will get just a mere 10% on a Cody, but I feel like that the presence alone is already being solidified. Down air from Cody out of desperation, trying to reset through the stage, trying to get some of these abilities rolling for themselves just to maybe try to get this first stock and to get crossed up inside of a PK Fire. The yo-yo finally takes the first stock. But Cody's now on borrowed time up to 60 on his final stock.
Yep, absolutely. Do It For Etika. Off to a strong showing. You don't want to, come into this and really drop the ball, especially with a name as significant and as kind-hearted as that. You want to make sure you're putting on your best showcase, and that's exactly what he's doing. Perfect matchup right here. Kind of a long grab. Really thinking about what he wanted to do there.
Yeah, wondering why he didn't go for any pummels, but I guess, just locking eyes in the middle of a grab over towards the edge of the stage where a back throw would have set up maybe an edge guard is a little bit more demanding than it is anything. So Do It For Etika going to take this first stage 2-0. Again, the way that these are all being played, if you're just now joining us, if you didn't see any of the other ones being played, it is best of threes within best of threes. So that's the first stage within this best of three. So now Cody needs to do what we call in the biz reverse sweep in this first set to be able to take the first state or the first series for Rocky River Ravens, and then JT Williams for Do It For Etika just needs to win this next upcoming salvo to then take this this first what are we calling it? Series stages.
Yep, it'll be the first set.
Yeah, the first set.
For the first 3.
That's the S word. I'm getting crossed up with all the.
Don't worry, folks. If you're confused at home, don't worry about it. We got you. You can just lay your head down on your pillow, listen in to Andy's wonderful voice as we guide you through this matchup and series. And at the end of the day, we'll tell you who won and who lost. You're just here for the action. You're here at home to support your loved ones who are in this game, giving it their all to compete for that ultimate $45,000 prize at the end of the semester event. I'm not quite sure that.
I'll grab you, and I'll throw you.
Yep, and that's exactly what he did the last game. Just, almost like a teacher, right? If you think about it. Ness acting up at school, picking him up. What are you doing? Stop being so weird.
What kind of school did you go to? Is that how y'all do it down here?
Things
we
were
didn't have
different.
none of that up in the north where I went to school.
Things were different when we were young, Andy.
Apparently.
But Cody, he brought his yo-yo, he brought his bat. He's ready to do battle with this grown man. You know, who really, if you think about it, we're at Tekken 8 now. That's a long time of anger if you're Kazuya. You think you would go to therapy or something and lighten up a little bit.
I was about to say, I'll grab you all three. I've never, like, that is the most Tekken Kazuya thing I've ever heard in all my days. So I guess it's a lot less, like, what is it, like Jaguar is like the actual one that would technically grab and throw you constantly, but I digress. King, yeah, there you go. Cody, in Ness in general, he acting like a little rascal right now. You got a whole bunch of different psychic abilities, fire, he's got a baseball bat. I guess it all kind of like becomes one for one because he is wearing a striped shirt, some shorts, and a backwards hat. A little bit of an up tilt, though, going to claim that first stock for Do It For Etika. Going to take that lead, though he's up to 125%. One good hit, Cody could even things up.
Yep, first stock. You can tell it was a lot closer, but the story is ultimately the same. Do It For Etika does get that early kill, but Cody equalizing it. Took no damage for that stock. We're back 2-2 in this matchup. How will this matchup keep progressing? Etika, you started off really hot. You had a lot of fire, not PK fire. If you get that, then you're definitely at a detriment. But he is starting to get his rhythm, starting to get his flow back. He's hoping he can take this to get Rocky River out to an early 1-0 lead in this matchup.
These forward airs are going to be really good for spacing from Cody on this Ness in particular, but he's getting caught with hitting way too many buttons. Here's another forward air. Can't connect towards the second. Too much damage now on the Do It For Etika to be able to combine the two, plus some good DI. Baseball bat, a little bit of a weak hit. PK Flash not going to be able to connect as Do It For Etika is going to be able to grab on towards that ledge. Another forward air. Kind of canceling his animation with the PK fire just to be able to fast fall ever so slightly.
Cody, a little bit of switch lag right there.
Yeah, that's all right. That happens. Sometimes even when I'm playing Super Smash Bros.
Oh, yeah. All the time. Even on a Switch Pro. Ooh. Etika up 2-1 in the stocks, 99%. That's not his test score, folks. He's been getting beat up.
Dude!
Nice little reversal.
That's a little boy, man! Put him down!
Well, don't put him down. You should lift him up. Lift his spirits up. Make him do better. Put him down sounds dark. Andy, I gotta confess to you. I see Do It For Etika's name. It's blinking. I'm expecting this to be like a demon form that you can go into, but I've not seen the demon form. Is it just not as apparent as it is in Tekken?
Maybe not as much, but it's just as alarming. Let's put it that way. Bang!
Wow! What did he just do to that boy?
Kazuya Mishima wins.
He just slammed his head into the ground center stage. You shouldn't do that.
It's like he done skipped the tension. He just went to the brutal punishment. Like he's in a yeet, like, bow right under the blast. So, woo, yeah. I mean, you asked about it, and that's what happens right there. It's kind of like how like Joker has like the whole Arsene. You got like the revenge limit coming through for Incineroar. Yeah, Kazuya just goes like full rage mode. Where
clearly,
if you're if you're unaware about Tekken 8, Kazuya, he's not a human being. He's not of this world. He's a little bit of a demon, and yeah, he get a little angry sometimes. So that's gonna go ahead and be the first set coming through for JT Williams. Kazuya with an absolute bang to end things out there.
Do It For Etika. Great name, great cause, great match.
Great heart.
On to our second matchup here for the second series, second set that we have. JT Williams backwards one. Okay, we're all confused. A little mind boggled. But we got Wolf, and we got another Little Mac coming out for Kikoi versus Bubbles.
I'm not gonna lie, like with like a name of Bubbles, I wasn't expecting a Wolf pick because that's a villain. Or is he much more of an anti-hero, I guess? I need to re-up on my Star Fox lore.
Yeah, if you're not Fox, if you're not Pippi, I forget the other character's names. Falco. Who's the other one? I think it was like a rhino.
I don't know, but no, it was like a dog. Or no, it was a rabbit.
It was a rabbit. Yeah. You're right.
And he was telling me
Wolf
to do
definitely the bad guy in that scenario. I think
he wasn't the full bad guy, and he actually came to help you when you fought Andromedus back in Star Fox 64. Wow, I'm showing how old I am. 84% for the first stock for Bubbles, and with Kikoi already kind of falling off the stage, and the second time is kind of very similar. Again, Lil Mac I mean, he looking really, really rad in a full pink jumper in the hood over top of his forehead, but that doesn't mean his recovery is any better.
Yeah, Kikoy probably looking earlier. You know, we saw our Little Mac with Ligma Boy. Ligma Boy put on a showcase of how you should play Little Mac. Kikoy must have not taken notes very well in that scenario. Not looking as good against Wolf, but perhaps this is just a worse matchup in that scenario. He has got it 1 stock to 2. A little bit of a comeback, 41%. Definitely not looking good for him as Wolf just proceeds to slash him up. I don't think boxing gloves are rated to take on claws.
Oh.
A little pineapple there. If you're Wolf, you don't really have to do much in that scenario.
No, and I'm glad that like you brought up like the thing about Ligma Boy earlier from Olympic High School as a Little Mac. If we're talking like immediate discrepancies in between like the 2 Little Macs that we have now had on our screen, Kikoy had about 3% of that entire first matchup as center stage control. You need that as a Little Mac. But that's the problem when you're going up against any of the Spaceys is what we call them. So like Falco, Fox, and Wolf, of course. So they're very, very fast, Wolf being the slowest out of the 3 of them. Still very fast regardless. He'll continuously just run up, grab you. He'll throw a couple blasters out. Little Mac essentially has like no tools in their kit to try to combat against that. And it was just constantly being thrown off the stage. And that exploits the one thing that is absolutely abysmal about a Little Mac as a character. Legitimately no recovery.
Yep, and you could see it there, you know, and even when you are recovering, if you are just a little bit off in your angle, your trajectory, I mean, you're going to pineapple, you're going to fall off the stage there. I'm thinking, if I'm Kikoy, that I will now not play Little Mac again. I'm going to change up my characters. I'm going to swap off of that. Give us a little bit of a different matchup, and that's exactly what we see. We see Incineroar versus Wolf. This looks like 2 brothers, very angry in combat. Okay, they've decided, they've pushed the beds out of the center of the room. They have so much more room for activities, and now they're just going to brawl it out.
All right, so here's my problem with this, right? Okay, so we have an Incineroar, Pokemon character, Wolf from Star Fox, and we're playing Jump Up, Jump Star from Super Mario Odyssey as our music choice. This is a banger, but like I'm just.
And Bubble's already up with another stock, right?
Yeah.
You blink, you miss it. It's looking like a very one-sided skill matchup here for Bubbles, unfortunately. But Kikoy is bringing a good character set here. But if Bubbles takes this next stock, already up 3-1, only taking 38% damage, this is 2-0 to JT Williams. And we have a quick night, Andy. We have time to go get dinner, go to the club. You know, do whatever we do. I don't go to the club. I don't know why I said that.
you are not I think I'm the only person in this entire building that would go to the club.
Now, I would go to the club. I would just be out of place, okay? People would look at me and they would say, what is that guy doing here?
You can't be lying to the viewers, brother.
Just a cowboy in the club. What can you do in that scenario?
Yeah, they're cowboy clubs. You guys, y'all do line dancing.
I don't mind dance.
Not with that
I maybe
attitude.
like flail around, you know. I can dance in a circle. 107%, 128%
Big
Kikoy.
Yeah, you know, I flail like a fish, but like Bubbles do be leading in the set though, 141.
Speaking of Bubbles, right? That's what Bubbles is spending with here. You know, Bubbles using a bubble to block. Do they ever have any lore to the bubble shield going on in Smash Brothers? What is that called? Is it a bubble?
No,
is it a shield?
It's just a shield.
Plasma? Bubble?
I don't know, but when it gets really slow, we call it a skittle.
Well, it ain't soft, and that kid was hitting hard there. Kikoy, 197%, almost sent Bubbles off the stage.
%. Kikoy just narrowly hanging on. Bubbles. I'm playing with his food, as dogs typically do, and there it goes, just running up tilt. Going to take that one, a 3-stock on the cards there. So that'll be the second set done. Bubbles will take that in convincing fashion, much like how we saw from Do It For Etika. So JT Williams, clearly a Super Smash Bros. School. And what I'm being told is that there's apparently a 3rd set. I was told that these were all going to be best of 3 soon afterwards, but... Or
we have faced a UI issue earlier today with the scoreboard. Perhaps that could be the scenario here. What if Bubbles?
Are you saying Bubbles was part of Rocky River?
Yeah, what if
Which would
Bubbles
make sense.
was rogue? What if he converted over? Rocky River opened him a scholarship or something. Said, "Hey, come
a
over
high
here."
school scholarship.
You know, I'm just theorizing. You know, I'm just spitballing. I don't know. We're gonna see when we see the gameplay. We're gonna see the action. I'm just trying to make stuff up, Andy, so we can get through the night.
Got
All right.
High school scholarship. It's like, hey, you want to move down the street, so now you're in this district to come play Super Smash Bros. At my high school.
We're gonna get you and your family a brand new house. You're gonna have a new lawn. You can mow new grass.
I'm assuming that's what happened. One of these two players, either Duo for Attica or Bubbles, was on the opposite team. Again, we have no jurisdiction on whatever the UI is doing up at the top. It's kind of doing its own thing. We had a backwards one. Sometimes it don't make
JT
sense.
Williams
No,
up 2-0.
no,
It is a best of five.
Okay, yeah, so he ain't moving districts or nothing. We're good. Oh,
Young Lincoln and Hero. I thought Link was the hero.
No, that's Lil Link, and he's running the demon skin too. That is the farthest thing from being the hero that you could possibly get from. So,
nice little stare off there. I like it.
Yeah, I think they did a countdown maybe, but like, okay, so here we need to talk about Hero real quick because Hero is RNG incarnate when it comes down to how this character plays out. You saw that right there, the menu bar being pulled out. He was just top barring continuously, which is how a lot of heroes do play online. MP gets charged when you're doing more damage. And Giddy Boy going to pineapple himself off of the recovery. So Fuzzle going to take that one stock lead, but here comes some more top bar action out of the hero.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm a little confuzzled right now. So you're saying he's not picking in that menu, Andy? He's sending out his MP to pick spells. He's playing Final Fantasy right now.
Essentially.
In Smash.
But he's not playing Cloud.
What series is Hero from?
I can't remember.
We're going to ask production to check into that. Where is Hero from in the series? He's got a nice, interesting moveset. Young Link, of course, from the Legend of Zelda series. Doesn't quite have his Master Sword yet.
Dragon Quest, of course.
Dragon Quest. Okay, that's a good series. Often seen on the mobile console, so I didn't play as much of that back in the day. But how confident do you have to be to name yourself Hero? I mean, you have to truly believe that you are the centerpiece of the story.
You know,
what if you're the villain?
Sometimes you don't get the choice on being named Hero. Sometimes you just are. Kaboom going to be pulled out. Oomph is now going to be the next one. So Oomph is an interesting one. So you'll see what that means. Quite literally, a forward throw doing that much damage. It also gives you increased damage and knockback as well. The snooze almost connects, but the forward smash, yeet, we'll be seeing you.
Giddy up, boy. Giddy out of this stage. 16% on Confuzzled. Giddy Boy at 35%. Confuzzled, honestly, how I felt most of the evening navigating through the series. There's a lot of action going on. Good name to fit the scenario. MP regeneration on Confuzzled, very quick. I assume he's building it up through some specific move sets.
Well, when he lost his stock, MP goes all the way back to 100, but every single, you do passively gain MP. I think it's like 1 per second or something like that. Dealing damage, taking damage, that all increases the MP recharge as well. Barrier is typically a good choice to come through if it is in your list, especially versus a young Link who's going to be continuously throwing arrows, boomerangs, everything else included. But how about a kaboom? Right into your schnozzle. Giddy Boy going to get 2 stock here in the first game.
And boom goes the dynamite, as they say. Hero pulling out the first map win in this series. I really like that character. I hadn't seen that character. That must be one of the newer additions to the game. It's impressive to me just how much depth and how much, really just to say it, character development has come into the series. Back when you played in the old days, it was very simple, right? You had a couple move sets. Now there's so much depth to these characters that it's just so much you have to keep up with as a player. Interesting that you can play an RPG at the same time as playing a fighting game.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because like the original Super Smash Bros. 64 had 8 characters.
Yeah.
And then Melee had 12, almost 16.
But you did
and
have
now
those
we're up
cool,
to 75.
Yeah, and you had the cool challenge modes going through, breaking the little targets, for each character. You had to master their navigation and moveset. So we're gonna see what happens in this next series. I hope that Confuzzle does not change characters, but if you're Giddy Boy, do you change it up, right? We've seen a lot of diversity come through here. We saw Do It for Etika, earlier, God Chicken, right? We've seen a lot of character variations here. What type of matchup are we going to get here with JT Williams?
Nope, going to stay on the Young Link,
Link.
which is interesting because Link actually has 3 different iterations. You have Adult Link, you have Young Link, which is, in my opinion, the best one, considering that it's from Ocarina of Time. I'm also super biased. And then you have Toon Link, which is the wild and zany one.
Yeah, we seem to be missing something here of how he went from young to adult, and there's no Teenage Link, everybody. Teenage Link versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
We don't
I feel
talk
like
about
that should be something that comes to Smash Brothers.
We don't talk about that. He was a delinquent when he was a teenager. That's why we just go from kid all the way to adult.
Yeah.
He learned his lessons, and that's how he became into a fine young man, being able to rescue Princess Zelda. So now, Confuzzled, very, very close as far as percentages are concerned. Top parting isn't really working out for himself, so we're going back to the old Smash mechanics. Can you even land? These up tilts are just so damning for Giddy Boy. Finally gets back down to the stage, but the falling fair will do it. Able to get the heal. That's going to heal 20%. Waiting for the kaboom. Goes a little bit too far, but that's quite okay. Still has the stage presence. Throws out a bang. Going to claim the first stop.
Yeah, and the character matchup looks just as obvious as the actual game matchup. When you have a wooden shield trying to block this metal sword, right? It's just, it doesn't align as how it should be. Confuzzled can heal. Giddy Boy, unfortunately, didn't bring any extra hearts or anything like that.
Also, can we just talk about how Hero just looks like a different universe Link, like grown up?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like they
Almost
almost
an
looks like a
alternate
variation.
dimension,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, like he's got a variation on like the Master Sword. He's got like the Hyrule Shield almost. He's just magical as hell.
If you're listening, Nintendo, we want a magical as hell Link in our future. But Zelda possessing magic, I guess we would have to make her as the counterpart. She couldn't have magic. I don't know what just happened.
So again, like there's so many different things that you can pop out of your bar, and again, just top barring. Sometimes you're just gonna get the replace there, which puts them right towards the center of the stage. Just zooming up towards the top, back down. 153%, 3-1 stock lead. JT Williams looking like they're going to claim this one. Bounce also going to come out to play. So now Giddy Boy can't just find his way in via all the different variations of projectiles. Kaboom is going to take Giddy Boy off the stage, but is able to at least get back up through the ledge. The bounce is now gone. 167%, up smash misses wildly. And Confuzzle's back towards the center of the stage. Oh, missed recovery attempted. And that's not how you want to go out. So that's going to be a 3-0 victory here in this best of 5 for JT Williams, the Hero, Wolf, and Kazuya getting the job done.
I think that was our first 3-0 of the evening and of the whole tournament. I think everything else they managed to edge out a couple, comebacks, just to make sure they didn't get shut out. Unfortunately, their Hero, he did throw him off the stage. We just saw that Giddy Boy, he couldn't quite fly back on, right? Couldn't his way back onto the stage as you would. So, good matchup, though, all around. But that did feel like a little bit of a matchup. Good effort there to Giddy Boy, but ultimately Confuzzle pulls it out for JT Williams to take the matchup.
Well, and that is it. Again, we went through all of our high schools here for CMS. Again, this is just week 1, so we have a multitude of different weeks where we're going to be going throughout all of this. Michael brought it up slightly earlier here as far as a broadcaster is concerned. Week 1 of 4 is now done and dusted for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. We had Valorant yesterday, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate today, but it's not the last day of the week here for some high school competitive esports action. Tomorrow, same time, same place. You're going to be able to watch some competitive Rocket League as well. It should be an absolute banger, but as far as this evening is concerned for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, we are done. We are dusted. It was a very early night nonetheless. Go ahead and enjoy some family time. Get yourself some good food and have yourselves a good couple laughs. We'll be back tomorrow evening, same time, for a little bit more Rocket League. We'll be seeing you all then.